for the holidays as dozens of flights are canceled due to the rising COVID surge.
One flight that will not be canceled. It is Santa Claus. We've got him on the NORAD tracker. And while we see snow falling in his trip, our attention is to possible record highs.
Also, it's Christmas Eve around the world. We look at how people are celebrating and even get a word from the big man himself.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A Southwest Missouri woman is behind bars, charged with murder after a key witness says he helped her stage the scene. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Tanya Bach. Topping our first 7 minutes, a Seneca woman is charged with murder in the first degree and armed criminal action after prosecutors say she shot and killed a man on her property and then set the scene to make it appear as self-defense. 62-year-old Suzette Lou Anderson is held without bond at the Newton County Jail. She's accused of killing David Stutz outside her home on Kentucky Road in Seneca. According to court documents, a witness that described the events to investigators, including details while holding a gun, Anderson asked the witness to put a rock and metal rod in the victim's hand. We'll have more details on this case on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, the latest COVID surge is having a major impact on travel this Christmas Eve. So far, airlines have canceled nearly 500 flights within the U.S. or flying in and out of the U.S. today. Travelers packed airports across the country who are trying to get to their destinations in time for the holiday, even as new COVID cases, driven by the Omicron variant, continue to skyrocket. The surge forced United to cancel more than 150 Christmas Eve flights because of staffing shortages. Delta and others have also canceled flights. In a statement, the head of United apologized for the disruption and said the airline is working hard to rebook as many passengers as possible. Concerned about labor shortages, Delta CEO asked the CDC earlier this week to reduce the recommended quarantine time from 10 days to 5 days for employees who are vaccinated. As Michael mentioned earlier, there is one flight that is definitely not getting canceled.
There's one. It's never been canceled. No matter what happens health-wise, no matter what happens weather-wise, and thanks to our good friends at NORAD, they've been tracking Santa all morning long. As a matter of fact, we can kind of give you a global perspective about where he sits right now, making his way right along the Iran-Iraqi border. More than, what are we up to, Tanya? 2 billion gifts delivered so far? Hey, if the kids are out and about, or maybe the grandkids are spending Christmas Eve day with you, let them know that we're going to break down his travels here when we come back with our full weather block in about 12 minutes. What a gorgeous look outside of Television City. And unofficially, and I want to stress that, we've hit 71 degrees in Joplin. Now that puts us 2 degrees off a record high. But look at Chanute, top left-hand portion of your screen, 73. That would tie our Christmas Eve day record if it holds. And I always want to stress that. We have to wait until the next day for the National Weather Service to confirm everything. But of course, the large reason is our strong south winds. I tell you what, I had to take a little road trip today and had to go to the south. It's about pedal to the metal to even try to get up to the speed limit. Now, everybody be safe, of course. There's no reason to hurry up and go anywhere because our travel conditions are absolutely pristine. We're talking about clearing skies, no precipitation, warm temperatures, and as a matter of fact, Tanya, I think it's going to set up to be a great Christmas for the kids as well because they're going to want to get out, play with some of those toys outside, and we'll back off the winds. Let's go low to mid 60s tomorrow with partly sunny skies. Coming up here in just a little bit, yeah, we're going to track Santa, but also too, did you notice how some of the roads were wet this morning?
Actually, no, I did not.
Yeah, they were. Talk about a little Gulf moisture and why that's so important because we're not talking about elevated fire weather.
That's nice.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Michael. Well, Christmas celebrations have kicked off around the globe, and as CBS's Ian Lee reports, even Santa was seen getting ready for his big night.
It's Christmas time all over the world. And the spirit is real in Bethlehem. Palestinian Christians paraded in front of the Church of the Nativity, where tradition holds that Jesus was born. And at the Vatican, Pope Francis urged people to be humble this holiday season. Earlier today, the snow was thick as the man in red also gave a Christmas message before his big night.
Now it is time to turn these worries into plenty of goodwill. Let's give time to children and young people and do something together.
Santa stopped off in Paris to swim with the fish before heading down to Brazil to deliver 300,000 meals to people in need. But there are concerns COVID will play a Grinch again this Christmas. Here in the UK, Prime Minister Boris Johnson used his annual holiday message to urge everyone to get vaccinated.
Getting jabbed, not just for themselves, for ourselves, but for friends and family and everyone we meet. And that, after all, is the teaching of Jesus Christ.
In Thailand, Santa's helpers swapped reindeer for elephants to deliver hand sanitizer and masks to children. And in Spain, there's a holiday rush to get tested for COVID to give folks peace of mind when visiting family during the season of peace. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
Here's a fun fact. When we think of the nativity scene and baby Jesus in Bethlehem, we often think of something that looks like a wooden barn. But according to Christian tradition, the manger was actually in a cave. Oil consumption is expected to reach record levels in 2022. Even though companies are trying to be more eco-friendly, the International Energy Agency predicts global oil demand will increase by 3.3 million barrels per day next year. This would match the pre-pandemic demand record in 2019. It's forecast for jet fuel to go down because of international travel restrictions. The blast at a Texas oil refinery this week could push gas prices even higher. The blast at Exxon Mobil plant injured 4 workers in Baytown, Texas. The facility is one of America's largest refineries, and the explosion could hamper output for months. The average price for a gallon of regular gas now stands at $3.29 a gallon. That's down 11 cents from a month ago. However, prices are still up about 47% from a year ago. Experts say the average price per gallon could rise to $4 in much of the country, but not until this spring or summer. That's a look at today's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Up next on KOAM News at noon, production issues and shipping delays create a shortage of glass bottles, why that could have an effect on your liquor cabinets. And later, we're making an eggnog French toast bake in the Mr. Food Test kitchen. Wineries and distilleries are the latest to be affected by supply chain issues. That's because there's a shortage of glass bottles, and it could impact your holiday cheer. Nichelle Medina reports.
Jesse Fanning is in the business of making whiskey.
We really wanted to resurrect the family name, and whiskey was the way to do it.
His tasting room and distillery, Henneberry near San Diego, has grown over the last 9 years. But these days, his passion for making spirits has been shaken.
This is where you keep your glass bottles.
It is. We're living bottle to bottle, day at a time.
That's what's in here right now.
Correct.
This is just going to fulfill the next order.
That's exactly right.
The U.S. is facing a glass bottle shortage. Shipping backups, labor woes, and a trucker shortage are leading to higher prices.
So even domestically, we're at about a 20% increase already, and these are glass bottles that are already created.
Most of us are looking for different distributors.
Dana LaFleur owns a micro winery and is president of a Southern California collective representing urban wineries, meaderies, and cideries. She says it could get worse in the new year. It's a concern since wineries need many types of bottles.
We'll use Bordeaux bottles, Burgundy bottles, bottles for Chardonnay. They're all shaped differently and have different, purposes.
With demand high and a busy holiday season, consumers may struggle to find some of their favorite spirits. One store in Texas is even limiting sales.
I've never seen anything like it.
How much more have you had to raise prices to the consumer because of the shortage?
Well, so far I haven't raised prices yet, but I mean, it's inevitable.
Creating the holiday spirit is coming at a higher cost, and it's not clear when this bottle shortage will ease. Nichelle Medina, CBS News, Vista, California.
Problems are not just limited to bottles. Distilleries and wineries are also having a hard time getting corks and labels. Still to come on the KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
Looking for a no-stress breakfast to serve everyone on Christmas morning? We've got it, and boy, is it good.
But first, Michael Hayslip returns with your complete forecast.
Hopefully you're able to enjoy your Christmas weekend with friends and family, and no matter what your age, I hope you enjoy the Santa Tracker. NORAD, North American Defense System, has been doing this since 1955, and as we get almost a bird's eye look, imagine if old Rudolph had a GoPro on him and he could look backwards. That's exactly what the kiddos would imagine seeing as Santa, now on his way to the Seychelles. And give you an idea, and the great thing is when you get a satellite map like that, there he is coming off the coast of Somalia, and once again headed down to the Seychelles Islands. I'm sure some of you may be familiar with that if you're avid Sports Illustrated fans from the 1970s. You'll know that after you come off of Somalia right there, and then you head down into the southeastern portion of that, is where you'll find those islands. Now, while Santa has been relatively successful as far as his trip so far as he progresses down, there you go, bottom right-hand corner of your screen, in the United States, we have not been so successful. As a matter of fact, we are bordering right now on 500 flights being canceled on Christmas Eve day alone. Go here to New York City and you cannot get out. Point being, if you have travel plans, obviously you knew by now, but if you're anticipating family or friends, please know that, and it's not just New York City, I wanted to point that out because of the number of routes that are either closed or delayed, but this is nationwide right now. So 500 flights in the continental United States, we're looking at about 2,000 flights globally. As a matter of fact, there are two particular Chinese airlines that have canceled more than 20% of their flights for today alone. All of a sudden, the traffic at 7th and Rangeline doesn't look too bad, all things considered. 71 degrees is where we stand right now, 2 degrees off the official record. The official record of 73 dates back to 1955, and of course the wind is the reason why we've been able to jump up with these abnormally warm temperatures. If this 73 stands, and the National Weather Service confirms it, at Martin Johnson Airport in Chanute, that will also tie the Christmas Eve day record. I think really by the time it's all said and done, we get about 1:30, 2 o'clock, because the clouds have parted. We're going to end up shattering records. Take a look at our daily almanac just to show you an idea. Our average high this time of year, 46 degrees. That 27, that's an average low. Now, yeah, earlier this week, we had temperatures that were below freezing, but we're going to cruise into the Christmas weekend with temperatures that the kids are going to absolutely love, and by the time we get there, our wind will finally begin to die down. We're also the beneficiaries of some good Gulf moisture. This is very important. If you were out and about earlier this morning, you may have said, oh wait, the roads seem to be wet. Well, it was trace amounts of precipitation is all it was. But the great thing about that is our combination of wind, warm temperatures, and also too high winds results in elevated fire threats. However, with our relative humidity being able to hang, say about 50, maybe dropping down to 40%, that's not too bad at all this afternoon. The farther east, the farther south you work, it gets even better. The fire threat really going to remain through the central portion of Kansas and work out to the west. Skywatch Storm Tracker, that's why we're getting the sunshine and blue sky. The clouds just parting right through us, and so we're going to go 75, 76 for this afternoon. As the wind begins to die down for Christmas Day, just absolutely perfect. I know a lot of you may just be hanging at home today, waiting on tomorrow morning. No worries whatsoever. As a matter of fact, Tanya, we actually don't see precipitation arrive until Sunday morning, and even that, very, very scattered and just kind of shoots right through. No sustained thunderstorm activity, a 7-day forecast that keeps us way above normal, pretty much to end 2021.
All right. All in all, pretty good forecast.
And
nice little stocking stuffer there.
You are a wonderful glass half full person in the Skywatch Weather Center.
I tried.
Right. She's going to come back and get us in January or February. I know. She's going to come get us.
Well, regardless, we're going to
for the
end
next
the year on a good note.
Not the next 48 hours, for the next 7 days. Let's ride this out.
Let's do it. All right, thanks, Michael. We take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Private William Harbort in the U.S. Army. The soldier from Arma, Kansas, joined the 3rd Army in 1944. He served proudly, fighting in France, where the soldier earned the Purple Heart at the Battle of Lyon. To Private William Harbort, we salute you, our four-state hero. Anything you can make ahead is helpful when your holiday to-do list just keeps growing and growing. Today, Howard gives us a perfect example, an eggnog French toast bake in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Right about now, you probably have a ton of things on your plate. Things like wrapping those last-minute gifts and getting everything together for Christmas Eve dinner. So to help make the next 24 hours a little easier, we have a simple French toast bake that you can make this afternoon and bake tomorrow morning. Here's how it's done. We begin by slicing a French bread into thick slices and placing them in a single layer in a baking dish. Now in a large bowl, we whisk together some eggnog, vanilla, a handful of eggs, a bit of nutmeg, cinnamon, and a little salt. We pour this flavor-packed mixture over the bread and let it soak up all the creamy goodness. All that's left to do is cover it and pop it in the fridge. After a couple of hours, I like to turn each slice over, which will ensure the bread gets soaked evenly. Come morning, we just uncover it and pop it in the oven until the center is set. Imagine being able to serve a fancy holiday festive breakfast without breaking a sweat. Drizzle on some maple syrup and you're good to go. To get this easy make-ahead recipe for eggnog French toast bake, simply visit our website. Hey, Cal, have a little break.
Thanks.
I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a sweet and stress-free way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Well, you can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at koamnewsnow.com. Here's a look at our four-state market prices.
Not to belabor the point, let's get to it. 73 in Chanute ties our Christmas Eve day record. Joplin's going to break it as well, as it already sits at 71, be it about in the mid-70s. Tanya, I was thinking earlier, while Howard was talking about the French toast and whatnot, you know, fellowship's very important this time of year. And as a matter of fact, whether people are looking for a hot meal or just want to involve with their communities, there's a number of four-state places, communities, and organizations that put on wonderful holiday meals. We happen to have a complete list. All you have to do is go to koamnewsnow.com, koamnewsnow.com, and please enjoy everyone else's friendship during this holiday season.
Well, if you are gathering with your friends and family for the holidays, tonight at 5, we take a look at what precautions you should take to stay COVID safe, including whether you should be testing, how often, and what you should do once you get where you're going. Plus, United and Delta Airlines cancel hundreds of flights ahead of Christmas. We head over to the Joplin Airport to speak with travelers on how this could affect their holiday plans. And we take you last-minute gift shopping at local holiday markets. Join us for those stories and much more tonight on the KOAM News at 5.
Thanks for joining us. Merry Christmas from all of us at KOAM. Tanya and I will see you Monday morning.
And the rest of the team will see you right back here at 5 o'clock.
Salon service is provided